Hi guys, welcome to Tagman channel. We're gonna get working on this old caddy once again. Last time we were here, we went and put some of that Ospho on the rusty spots on the hood. And today we're gonna rinse that stuff off, clean it up, sand it down, and maybe we'll even get some primer on it. Let's see what happens. Okay guys, so that Ospho is a phosphoric acid, and it converts all this iron oxide that was here into iron phosphate. And that's a black inert material that, with any luck, won't continue rusting. It just kills it. You see how it's turned it black there. But here's the deal too. It leaves a acid film, and you can see it. It leaves it all over the metal. So we gotta wash that off. And we gotta do it by re-wetting with the Ospho. Just get it wet again, and then rinse it all off with water, and then dry it. Hey guys, weapons of choice. A spray bottle with water. Some more of the Ospho. I'm down at the corners of the hood. I put some rags and stuff, because I don't want this stuff getting all over the place. That's wetting it down nice. Right there. This little thing seems to put it on really a little bit too thick, and it's running down the hood now, but I'll be able to take what I put on there and smooth it around with my foam brush. Yeah, it's really going. I put more than enough on there, that's for sure. So I gotta leave this wet for a minute or two, and then we'll start taking it off with the water. I hit every place I hit the other day, because anywhere I leave this stuff, it may cause some kind of bubbling in the paint. We don't want that. Well, this is the foam brush I used before, and I'm being too cheap because it's falling apart and disintegrating. So I'm gonna break out a new foam brush for the rest of the job. All right, so I got it all wet. Let it sit for a couple minutes, and then we'll spray it down. Wipe it off and dry it. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, here's a spot here I almost missed. And then I did all under here too, so I gotta do all that. Looks like I don't need the spray bottle that much if I just use the foam brush. I kind of have more control with the foam brush on this stuff. And another thing is this stuff's water thin, so you don't have to thin it, it just goes on. And the gallon's supposed to do like 400 square feet, if I remember right. So a little goes a long way. It's about 38 bucks, 40 bucks for the gallon. So it's not extravagantly expensive or anything. Let's give it a couple minutes, so we'll come back and rinse it. Okay, I'll let that sit for a while. Let's spray it down with some water. Got a clean rag. My little sprayer's not spraying. What with this thing? It's brand new, I just bought it. There we go. Rinse it off. Okay, wipe it off. Got a little metallic smell going on. Well, we'll see. Either this will really work well or it will be a disaster. Time to get the ShamWow. This has been laying around forever, the ShamWow. We'll use it to do the final dry up. But I don't want water laying on this thing. Wow. I mean, ShamWow. I don't know if this thing's working all that great, to be honest. Doesn't seem to be taking a whole lot of moisture off. On to the other side. I think I'm gonna use some paper towels and dry it up a little bit more. I want to get it dry. Looks like I got it pretty dried off. It looks like it's turning the metal blue, almost like gun blue or something. But I think that stuff smells the same as gun blue back in the day when I used to re-blue old guns I had and stuff. I used that to touch up stuff. Who the heck made that? I can't think of who made that stuff. Case, I think. Case made it. Not Case Tractors. Not Case my grandson, just Case. So, oh, look at that. It's taking all that stuff off. There's a lot of dirt on there. Even after all that wiping. Maybe you guys can see the tint. You just barely see it maybe. See, it's like a blue. You see the blue there? Yeah, kind of weird. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna wipe it all down with wax and grease remover. But I just happen to have some in this little spray bottle. That's not working. Oh, there we go. Ooh, look at that. Well, that don't work very well. A little spray, oh, that's better. Little spray bottles are not real good anymore. I remember my dad had these kind of bottles and they lasted for decades. Now you're lucky to get a couple sprays out of them and they quit. This is a multi-step process, but from what I understand, if you don't do it all and get it done right, you're gonna wind up with bubbles in your paint. Nobody wants that. Uh-oh, my phone's ringing. I better go answer it. Maybe it's opportunity calling. Probably not. Okay guys, I did this side too, and man, it's got some bluing in it. I think I gun blued it. That's what it looks like. Feels nice and smooth. It feels very sheen. This is a little gritty. I gotta clean that up a little bit. Anyway, I think my next step is I'm gonna hit it with sander and then hit it with some metal etch primer. But you know, it's a little chilly in here today. My heat quit working because my well quit working and water wasn't pumping, so I gotta get more heat going in here. But anyway, this doesn't look bad at all. Well, I was gonna start working on getting my door jambs and everything cleaned up, and I did a little bit. But then I got looking at this thing and I needed to do some more puttying and whatnot. So here I am, I'm puttying. I put another layer on there because I had to shape that up. Put a little layer on there so it'll stand out nice. And I fixed this right here because the gap was crazy. But what I'm doing right now, and I think it's probably similar to what I had to do with the hood. I'm sanding off the roof because of course I had the vinyl top, but little rusty spots. So it looks like I'm gonna wind up treating this too. Here's some rust here. There's a little spot there. Well, so it looks like I'm gonna etch this too with the Ospho and then wash it all down and clean it all up. I got the whole roof sanded off and it looks pretty good, except for there's some pitting here and there. So what I'm gonna do is get the Ospho out and treat this whole roof. Well, there it is. I finally got a coat of that Ospho on top of that roof. And it's pretty easy. We gotta brush it on. It's gotta dry for 24 hours. That stuff seems to have wetting agents, it says on the label. That seems to make a difference as far as that goes. So I got this side. Now I'm gonna go over and do the other side. So I sprayed it out with the spray bottle and then hit it with the foam brush because it kind of goes on blotchy. It doesn't just spray on nice, but you can see those little rusty spots, they're already turning black. So this got to dry for 24 hours. Then I'm going to go ahead and, oh wow, it's got running over here. I got to do a little more mopping. I don't want to go on my putty, which is one of the problems with being an amateur. You don't know what you ought to do first. I should have just done this first, but now here I am doing it afterwards. Right up to the edge, but I don't want to go over the putty, obviously. But tomorrow, I'll rinse this all back off. I'll neutralize it, rinse it all off, wash it up. I'll probably buy a bunch of towels down at the Dollar General. I don't know if you guys have a Dollar General in your town, but we have 1 or 20. So yesterday, I put a smear of putty on here because I knew it was a low spot. And I put a whole single smear on this too. And I tried to do it all in one sweep, because anytime you stop, it leaves a ridge, and then, you know, if you stop and start, leaves a ridge, and then it's more sanding. Let me show you what I did on this side. So I sanded this off, and like I say, here's a little spot. I had to sand like crazy because that's where I stopped, and then I went again, and it was a little thinner here, but that's okay. It feels good. I'm just starting to break through the metal, so I have to stop sanding now. And unfortunately, I didn't have enough putty here, and that's the issue. Now this is gonna be a low spot. You can see it because the sand never hit it. I was using the short board, the short sander too, which is, it's 4 inches. And this long board, which is about 1 foot. I think it's 1 foot. I don't know, maybe I'll measure it. Anyway, so I was sanding on that and this did not go away. So I think what I'm gonna do is, see I'm hitting metal here, so I'm already low enough and that's still there, so that's lower. So basically that has to be built up. But what I'm gonna do is, I think I'll worry about that after I prime, because the prime might take it out. It's just barely. I was so close. So anyway, I'm gonna go over on that side now and do a little sanding. All right, I'm short, I'm standing up on a thing. I probably don't have to yet, but I got the long board here. What I want to do is get this as smooth as I can, just flat across without any low spots or anything. And I got 40 grit on it, so that'll really do some cutting with any luck. And this has got a concave swoop to it, kind of, so I kind of have to come in a sideways kind of fashion, because if I just go straight across, I'll just cut deep. And I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna stick one leg over here into the trunk. So now I'm kind of like straddling this thing. Ooh, the car's bouncing all over the place. So let me just go ahead and let's see what happens. I'm already hitting metal here, so I'm already toasted, really. But I don't have to go all the way up to that. But I can see I'm gonna have a low spot here. Now, I don't know why I'm having so many low spots. I mean, I really didn't change anything. I'm not fixing a dent. It's just where I put those patches in. Well, there you have it. I got low spots, so I'm gonna have to add more putty. That's all there is to it. I got metal here, so it's a high spot, and through here it's low. So I'm just gonna put another nice layer of putty on there, and hopefully enough this time, so the next time I sand it, I'm not monkeying around going back for putty. I really did disappoint the bad Chad method. Anyway, kind of a failure. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so I started sanding. Here's my high spot. Now, that feels pretty level with everything else. The thing is, I wonder if something happened with that when I welded the patch in that's under here. I got the patches here, so I don't know, but yeah, there's a bunch of places where it's just not covering. Every place where it's a little bit darker, the sandpaper didn't reach it, so that's telling me it's low. And I don't even need guy coat for that. It's just obvious. So I'm gonna clean this up and put some putty on it and try it again. Well, I'm gonna hold off on that for a little bit because I gotta mix up more putty for more areas. So I'm gonna work on getting more places to putty. All that to say, I got this spot right here. But I don't think I'm gonna have to do a lot of putty there. Obviously, it's the inside door panel. I'm not gonna panic over it. This is the patch I made. It looks fairly decent. It's not perfect. I mean, if this was like a really something car, I probably wouldn't get away with this, but it came out pretty decent. I mean, I can't complain. I repaired both the inner and the outer, so I'm just gonna sand this thing up and I'll mix up a little bit of putty and maybe smooth a little putty on there, but I gotta get these door jambs ready finally. There's a little putty here too, or a little bit of rust and whatnot, so. Clean this all up and get this ready to spray some primer on it. Okay, I got this sanded up. Looks kind of decent. You know, I'm just not gonna panic over this. This is small potatoes. I'm gonna sand all these jams and get these all sanded up and get them ready to shoot some primer on them. Well, back to sanding. I'll let you guys see what it looks like when I'm done. Hey guys, if you stuck around this long, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching this video. See you guys on the next one.